So you're playing Battlefield 6 and you're looking for that gun that just seems to do it all and do it all well. Well, if you like to play more close quarters game modes or hold objectives, then let's talk about the SGX. Yes, this is the very first of the SMGs. As you can see, there's a bunch of them that you unlock, and many of these are quite good, especially as you put levels into them, so you might not be playing this your entire playthrough, but that doesn't mean you should sleep on it, nor should you use it and level it up, because this thing is an absolute monster, as you can see. This gun is basically a little laser beam. It has almost no bullet deviation or bloom. It has super good recoil control. It has really good hipfire accuracy. It's an SMG, so the mobility is good. You can run around fast. It has a high fire rate. It has good base damage. It can increase its magazine size to 36 or 40. And well, join me in the training room here, because let me just show you what happens when you use this setup of attachments. You see that? That target is like, what, 70, 100 meters away, the furthest back one, and this thing just absolutely lasers every single thing that you want to shoot. And again, pretty good hipfire accuracy, pretty good ADS time. It is just an absolute monster of an SMG. So, let's go over the attachments, the loadout that you want to do, and there is two different sort of playstyles that you can do this on. We have the one that I have here, which is basically a little laser where you use a red dot. You have almost no recoil. It can shoot people at range, at close, and it's super easy to work with. And this is my preferred method. And then there's a second playstyle where you can basically use a very specific hand stop that allows you to fire while sprinting in hipfire, and then you want to rebuild it. Now, personally, I prefer this one that I have here. So let's talk about this one first. So let's go through all the attachments, because I've set things up in such a way that it works for me best, but you can of course make tweaks for yourself. Now, I've gone with the converter here. I have toyed with the idea of a suppressor, because we don't like to be appearing on the minimap and appearing as a red dot for everyone to see. And even the flash hider can work as well, because it kind of does the same thing as a suppressor, but it's just not as good. You still appear within about 30 meters if you're shooting from someone, which, this is the thing. If you're using this gun, you're probably going to be close to enemies anyway. You're going to be in objectives, you're going to be playing CQB modes, domination, king of the hill, stuff like that. So I don't really worry too much about appearing on people's maps, because we're running, we're gunning, we're playing an SMG, we're playing CQB. I'm not too worried about the small difference that a suppressor or a flash hider is going to make. So I've gone with the comp because it gives us that extra precision, which helps keep our bullet deviation and bloom to an absolute minimum. So we can just hold down fire on a target even 100 meters away and actually kill them, even better than a lot of other guns. We are still using the extended mag, and hear me out, you can use the short mag and it will bump your hipfire a little bit, but I don't think that this difference in hipfire is worth the loss of bullet deviation that you gain from the extended. I would rather my bullets connect faster than me to have a slightly better bit of hipfire accuracy, so that's just me. I'm going to keep the extended on. I seem to have better results with it. It opens you up to still being able to beam people from far away and still being able to hip fire people close, because we still have super high hip fire accuracy anyway. Now for the grip, I've just slapped on the vertical. Yes, there's a slight ADS penalty while moving with these, but to be honest, I don't think it's actually a problem. If you go in the training room and you test it out, it's not really the grips that are going to give you a problem with your bloom while moving. It is straight up the way the game interacts with running and gunning. If you're running, shooting, running, stopping, shooting, you have such high bloom, it's a problem. So these grips, in my opinion, aren't actually that detrimental, considering if you're doing that anyway, you're in trouble. So I've just put the cheapest one on here, and the reason for that is that we have a very expensive blue laser, the last one that you unlock. Now if you look, as we go down to the other ones, we actually lose out on a ton of hipfire, a ton of mobility, and if you were worried about that ADS while moving, well, this one actually gives a minor improvement to aim down sights accuracy while moving. So not only does this offset the negative of the grip, which isn't even that much of a negative, it also gives us a ton of hipfire and extra mobility. This 30 cost blue laser is so good on this weapon. Now I'm using the mini flex 1x. You could use any of the 1x, but I recommend you just stick with the 1x. A lot of people do like the OSA, it is pretty good, but it's a bit cluttered in the actual sight for me, so I prefer the actual red dot of the mini flex here. If you go higher than a 1x, you're going to feel the recoil more. So if you can get used to using the 1x like I have, you can just beam people really far away without a problem. You just don't have as much zoom. Pro tip, you can actually reduce your field of view to improve your zoom on your scopes if you want to do that. I don't know if it necessarily is worth it because you're going to see less, but you can improve your zoom that way if you want to get used to the 1x. We're just using the standard ammo. You could go up to penetration. I think it is good, and there is use cases for it. It allows you to actually pierce through people if they're all in a corridor, which is good in CQB. But it does add a little bit of control and precision loss. It does add a bit of recoil. So if you're playing pure CQB and you don't want to aim down sights and laser people from medium to long, then I would use it. Otherwise, stick with standard. That's your preference. And the 36 rounder. This is really, really good. That extra 6 rounds, oh, it makes a difference. So I would really aim for the 36 rounder here. Really does make a difference. So that's the setup to make it an absolute laser, as you've seen. But if you want to mix things up more, then it is this hand stop that you want to be using. Now, this is unlocked at level 33. You see, I'm level 31. I've been using this a lot, so it takes a long time to unlock this. Now, we did play with this in the beta and in the lab tests when you had everything unlocked. So I've already experimented with this, and I know it's not to my playstyle, so I won't be switching to it when I level it up. But it is very fun to run and gun. You can see it says enables weapons to be fired while sprinting. This allows you to basically hip fire as you run. So on some maps, it can be very, very good. But in general, I wouldn't go for it. Now, this costs the same amount of points as the vertical, so it's an easy switch over if you do want to run it like that. And if you do switch over, I would probably also change to the short barrel just to give you a bit better hip fire with that sprinting and shooting, since if you're going to be doing that, you're not going to be ADSing at all. So you can switch over to the short if you put that hand stop on. So that's the sort of 2 variants that I would go for. So there you have it, my SGX builds. This thing is an absolute beast. There's some other good SMGs, but to be honest, it's hard to put this down once you pick it up. So give this a try. Tell me what attachments you're using, if you're using anything different, and how you're getting on with it down below. And make sure to drop a like if you do give this a try and it helps you out, because it really does help. And a comment really does help too. We'll be back with more Battlefield 6 very soon, so make sure you're subscribed down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Here at Arix Gaming, we're 2 friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.